Hey guys, how are ya? So in this vlog, I'm going to answer a couple questions that were put to me in the private messaging in YouTube. So I figured I'd do a video. Somebody asked me about the lifestyle of the developer. They wanted to know, what do I earn, that kind of thing. So first of all, I don't mind the question, but I'm not going to answer that question because that's something you shouldn't do. You should never answer any financial questions. Here's first tip from somebody who knows: when you start making money, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. You got to stay low key, because if people around you start detecting that you're making more money than them, heaven forbid, a lot more money than them, they will start coming at you. They'll start coming at you. You're going to get jealousy, you're going to get resentment, and it's going to be not direct most of the time. It's going to be subtle aggressions, if you will. So I can tell you from personal experience, don't tell people you're making money. Stay very quiet, be low key, and just fly below the radar, because there is no advantage. Let me say this again. There is no advantage to letting even family members know, especially family members. Don't let them know that you're making money. If they ask, say, I'm okay, and stay low key. That's my first huge bit of advice. Besides the FU money I talked about in a previous video, staying low key and not letting anybody know is important. To give you an idea, when I bought my my convertible Audi, I didn't tell people for months. A lot of people didn't know I had it for many, many months. And the only reason they found out is because, they eventually find out these things, and then you downplay it and you sort of undercut what it's worth. And, I got the base model, even though you didn't, yada, 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 all these kind of things, because I'm telling you, people are not going to be happy for you. Well, most people are not going to be happy for you if you're making a lot of money. So there's no point to talk about it. Don't ever talk about it. You keep to yourself. You be low key. The only time that you should feel comfortable about it is when you're around other successful business people, entrepreneurs. Then you can reveal a little bit more, because they're in that mindset as well. One of the things that I discovered a long time ago, that I used to say, there are two types of people in this world: people who are employees and people who are employers. And it's not an insult to employees. It's just a question of mindset. You'll find that if you are a business owner and you have that mindset, it's a totally different worldview in many respects from people who work for others. It really is. And it's a totally different lifestyle. And you have to be suited towards that lifestyle if you're going to be a business owner, an entrepreneur. And that's something you have to consider. So with regards to coding in my life, I've always looked at my technical skills, my coding skills, my programming skills, my graphic design skills. I've looked at all these skill sets as tools in my toolbox. I did not become a developer, a coder for the sake of becoming a developer, a coder. I became a developer in the 90s because I wanted to be able to build certain types of web apps for my own business purposes. And then eventually it morphed into other things as well, where I did a lot of freelance work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the coding and the programming, again, for me, was a means to an end. On the other hand, I have friends who are very successful developers, and that was their goal. Their goal was to be developers, and they're still developers, and they've done very, very well by it. So it depends on what your focus is. So to answer that person's question again, I don't know if you even mentioned the question at the beginning of the vlog, in terms of a lifestyle. Well, with my particular endeavors, the coding played a large part in me being able to retire at 32 years old. I came out of retirement 8 years later or so, because I decided that I wanted to develop a new type of educational app. I come from a family of teachers. My father's a teacher, my aunts and uncles, and many of my cousins are teachers. So it's kind of in my blood. And I studied learning and so forth in university. the time I was there. And so I decided to just come out of it and to pursue this more out of personal interest than anything else, because let me tell you, the educational business is much more difficult in many respects than other types of businesses. And finally, another person asked me about their career. They're learning Python and they're learning Flask for web development, but they noticed around them everybody's doing PHP MySQL as a freelancers. And so he's asking me, should I stick to Python? Should I do PHP? As I've been saying for years now, off of YouTube, now on YouTube, PHP in terms of freelance development is still the king because of the WordPress infrastructure out there, because PHP is so widely used. If you want to be a freelancer, the money's in PHP MySQL. I know it's not the hot language like JavaScript is today, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The demand is PHP MySQL in most places, as far as I can see, for freelancers. Now, again, I'm not talking about PHP versus Python, Flask, Python Django, or PHP versus Ruby, or PHP versus Java Spring, etc., etc. I'm not talking about this in terms of technical. I'm not evaluating them technically. I'm not evaluating the languages in terms of their productivity and so on. No. The reason I keep saying PHP MySQL is a choice for freelancers is because that's where the market is. That's where the demand is. That's what you're going to find out there when you get out there, how you're going to make your money. Again, to emphasize, for me, coding languages and tools are just a means to an end. They're tools. And just like a plumber, they may have a favorite wrench, but they don't get into political wars about which wrench is better. You know, everybody's got their taste. And depends what your goals are as well. So again, if you want to do freelance work, you know, chances are, because I don't know every region of the world, but chances are PHP MySQL is where the money is. That's all. Finally, with my own work, I am getting into a stage where I'm going a lot more marketing work now, where the main infrastructure development, if you will, of my product is done. It's very solid. So now I want to shift my focus from 80-90% infrastructure to 80-90% marketing. And a big part of that is going to be doing videos. Now, not just vlogs, but actually videos that promote the product and so forth. So I am considering investing in a much higher end camera gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put links below to some video from a high-end camera that Canon just put out. And I want to see what you guys thought in terms of the video quality, to see if you actually see a difference in the video quality. I'm not going to give a comment because I don't want to suggest anything, but I would appreciate if you take a look at those links and tell me whether or not you feel the video quality in those videos are significantly superior to the video quality that you see here. Again, my goal is to put out the best I can possibly put out, and so I would appreciate your feedback in that regard. So let me know down below. I don't want to spend money on gadgets and equipment that are not needed, but I would like to get your opinion about whether or not you feel that the video quality of this other camera is significant. That's pretty much it. Bye-bye.